Live. Happy Thursday Night Live. Hello, beloveds. Welcome in. You are joining us tonight for Thursday Night Live, a deeper dive discussion group with Rev Kev and my main man, 100 grand, Brother Rev. E's in the building tonight.
Hey, Brother Rev Kev.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to take this deeper dive.
We got to go deep tonight.
Absolutely.
It's a lot to discuss, and we're slowing it down a little bit. So we want you to go ahead and make sure that you get in this discussion. We're talking about trust in the process, and anything worth having is worth a powerful process. And so I want you to be thinking about the process for your success, the process for your good. And we're going to get into that tonight. So jump on in. Let's see who's joining us in the chat room. We want to just acknowledge you if you're there. I'm over here waving at you too. Hey, come on in. Come on in.
Yes, and I love that this is the follow-up series to the Dream series, because there are a lot of people who love the Dream series and they follow the steps, but then life happens.
Yes.
Things happen during the course of a week, and then you wonder, well, what's next? What is there for me to do next? I think I'm following the steps. Which is a process.
The Dream series itself was a process. It's a process.
Yes.
So the deeper dive is all about kind of pulling back the drapes on what it really takes to not only obtain and attain the dreams in your heart, but to maintain. You want to keep what you have developed the consciousness for. So that's what we're going to be working with.
Very good.
Be working with. Are we coming into the chat room? We're going to check you in the chat room. Just check in. Just if you're in the chat room with us, as you jump into the chat room, say, "I'm taking the deeper dive." Come on, tell us. Type it in the chat room. I'm taking the deeper dive. Over here, I'm taking the deeper dive. Yeah. Have you lost the chat room?
I'm checked. There it is. Okay.
All right. Revy's getting his chat room on. So while you join us and you're typing in the chat room and you're joining in with us, we're going to just take a moment to turn within and really get ourselves grounded for this journey. And we want to, again, welcome you wherever you're tuning in from, whatever part of the country you're tuning in from. Tonight's going to be a magnificent night of learning, loving, sharing, and going deeper. So let's just take a moment to turn within. And just become present to your breath. Become present to this moment, this place, this space and time where you are. And just take a deep breath with us. And let it go. Oh, how good it is, loving presence, to come together for such a time as this. We recognize that this is our time of listening and learning. That this is our time of caring and sharing. We empty our minds of hatred and hatred. We open our hearts to spirits preparing. And may this place of loving be safe for all who enter thee, to heal and bless and prosper all, to discover and answer spirits' call. And may the words we use transform lives with wonders to be performed. The students are ready to learn and hear. We now let the Spirit appear. And that Spirit is your own indwelling Lord. However you understand that God of your inner self, leading you, guiding you, directing you, protecting you, loving you, and keeping you always, in all ways. This is the greatest night we've shared together on this earth plane. We are excited about it, dear God. We let it be, and so it is. Amen. Amin. Ashe. Aho. Hotep. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
All right, beloveds, we want to make sure that you're with us. Thank you for taking some time to be in the prayer field with us, to dive deep with us, to connect with us, and to join with us tonight for this Thursday Night Live Deeper Dive. We've been talking about a new series called Rev Kev's 4 Commandments for Unleashing Your All-In Spirit. Rev Kev's 4 Commandments for Unleashing Your All-In Spirit. And the reason why we've used this title and used this series, following the Dream series, is because we realize that in order to truly manifest and maintain the miracles in our lives, in our world, in our affairs, it is going to require nothing short than all we have. You got to give it your all. So we're working with 4 commandments for having an all-in spirit. And so if you're with us now, type in the chat room, I'm all in. Come on, let's get all in. Let's load them up. I'm all in. Who's with us so far, Brother Rev?
Mardell is with us.
Hey, Mardell. Welcome in. Who else is with us that we want to quickly shout out?
Marida? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I hope you are.
But they're there.
Welcome in, Marida. I hope we're saying that correctly. Hearts and thumbs up are coming in. Who else? Anyone else with us that we can
Sandra
see?
is all in.
Sandra, let me look on my page because last time we did this. Welcome in, Sandra. We're so glad you're with us. All in spirit. I see Mother Fahiza is with us.
All right.
Michael Taylor is with us.
Beautiful.
Hey, Tiffany Jordan from high school is with us. Hey, let's go all in. We're taking that deeper dive tonight, folks. You've got to have an all-in spirit in order to truly manifest and maintain what you manifest. And that's a big conversation. And so we said there are 4 commandments for having that all-in spirit. I'm going to speak the 4 commandments right now. Then we're going to go over that first commandment that we looked at on Sunday, right?
Right.
So starting again, the first commandment, and let's type these in the chat room as a point of review. Number 1, thou shalt trust the process. Thou shalt trust the process. That's the first commandment for having an all-in spirit. The second one is, which we'll cover this coming Sunday, thou shalt learn to double down. Thou shalt learn to double down. That is to commit to your commitment. Thou shalt learn to double down. That's the second commandment. The third commandment is thou shalt build your bounce back muscle. Thou shalt build your bounce back muscle. I can't wait till we get into that one. That's going to be fun.
Where exactly is this bounce back muscle you're talking about?
You've got to be here to hear it. And I'll show you where it is located in your spiritual anatomy. And then the fourth commandment, thou shalt never give up. Thou shalt never give up. And so these are the 4 commandments for having an all-in spirit. Let's go to this first one that we talked about this past Sunday. Thou shalt trust the process. What did you think about that commandment, Brother F?
I love, again, trusting the process is what's really gets us started, because it's one thing to know the process, but to trust the process is another level of interaction and participation, especially as it pertains to your dreams and your goals. And so I'm loving that. And what really caught me this Sunday is that you brought in another way of being. You encouraged us to become mystics.
Mystics.
Yes. Now, I've heard of us being truth students. I've heard of us being metaphysicians. But mystics, now that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, because if we keep interpreting our life journey only from the outer, we never fully apprehend the greater purpose behind why we're taking the journey. You know, your life becomes one-dimensional. So I'm going to the grocery store to get a gallon of milk, you know, and so that is the extent to which you're living. My journey was about getting in my car, going to the grocery store, getting milk, coming back. But there's always a greater reason and purpose for our living. And so taking us into this particular commandment opens us to being able to access and experience our journeys from a whole nother level. We're now coming to have a set of lenses that we can use for interpreting our lives experiences that's going to be richer, fuller, and more fulfilling. Some of us are just full, but we're not fulfilled. Some of us have stuff, and some of our stuff has us, right? But the sense of fulfillment, that sense of reward, that sense of deep inner satisfaction, beloveds, that's what this journey is about. Learning how to see more than the end that you're seeking. Type in the chat room, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
Come on now.
Come on, type it in the chat room. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. Have you ever gone on one of those long trips and slept the whole way? Of course, not when you drive.
Right.
But if you're taking a journey and you're taking a trip and you're in the car and you slept through the whole experience and you wake up and everybody's telling you what you missed, but you're so-called there, you've gotten there, but you missed the best part of being there. It is the getting there. It is the travel there. It is the journey there. And so it's not about the destination. The destination is really like the carrot before the horse. It's the bait that is designed to bring you to a higher level spiritually. But make sure you got you some good bait. I mean, I want you to want to go for something in life, something that inspires you, something that compels you to become the person that's willing to take the journey. So go for some big things so that you can grow to the capacity to hold and maintain that. So in order to do that, we've got to be able to trust the process. So let's break some things down really quick. Let's break some things down. Might as well get into it, right? We talked about what this journey is about. We said the road to manifesting your dreams is a mystical journey, a unique process where the one taking the journey is by default inducted into a class of souls known as mystics. Chris, let's cut that for now. The road to manifesting your dreams is a mystical journey and a unique process where one taking the journey is by default inducted into a class of souls known as mystics. What is a mystic?
All right.
That's what we want to get to.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask Chris to let this vibe go and give me that other mystical vibe.
Good.
Ah, look at that. We're just slipped right into the mystical.
That's the one.
A mystic is a person who seeks by contemplation and self-surrender to obtain unity with or absorption into the divine or the absolute, or one who believes in the spiritual apprehension of truths that are beyond the intellect.
Okay.
All right? So as we're talking about becoming mystical, we're talking about really interpreting our lives through a spiritual lens, recognizing that what I am really hungering and thirsting for, what I'm really being pulled toward and pursued is more than meets the eye. Okay?
I can take that two ways.
Okay.
More than meets the eye, or more than what meets the eye. Because there's more to me than what I see.
Yes.
There's more to my purpose. There's more to my being than what is right in this moment.
Yes. Yes.
And there's the mystical expands all that I am into all that there is.
All right. He's getting a little mystical with it now. He's coming into his mystical self. Yes. Yes. That I am moving now. I'm on the journey, not merely, as I said last week, for the acquisition of an outer thing. The car, the house, the raise on the job, the new spouse, and all of that. For example, maybe it's a relationship that you've just been after, and somebody finally proposes to you, and you get married and what have you, or come together. Then, what next? What was it for? So Gary Zukav would say, you got together for more than having somebody to warm the side of your bed.
Love that.
Well, he wouldn't say that. Here's what he would say. That was me. But here's what he would say, that you're coming together when you're on the spiritual journey, when you're operating from the mystical self, then you're seeing the two parties coming together in what he calls a spiritual partnership. A partnership between equals for the purpose of spiritual growth. Now, most of us don't think about that when we are in the interest of a partner. We're in the interest of a partner for the other reasons that appeal to the sensorium. And you want those things to occur. You want that person who is joining with you to share like interests. You want that individual who joins with you to be appealing to you physically and mentally and stimulating you in those ways. But he is helping us to see that will only satisfy to a certain extent. Now, when we're looking at it through the mystical lens, we're looking at it from the place where I am open to this journey of spiritual growth and expansion. Why? Because as souls, you and I are here on a soul expanding experience. We are here for a soul expanding experience. You and I, as I've taught many times here, you and I are an unfolding idea in the mind of God. Your unfolding idea. I want you to think of, if you could imagine the biggest roll of, let's say, gigantic paper towel. I don't know. Okay. Something that's just so huge. And you're just this one big roll. And with every opening to the self, to your journey, a little bit more of who you really are comes forth. As you are responding to the prompting in your soul, the prompting of your desire, a little bit more comes forth, a little bit more comes forth, a little bit more. You're never being less than your real self. You're always expanding into the great, great, great idea that the Spirit had for you before you entered the mother's womb.
That you may or may not be aware of.
Exactly. And we are becoming more and more aware. Mm-hmm. We're becoming more, we're awakening to that sense of greatness that we feel in our hearts.
Discovery and uncovery.
Now you done made some up. Uncovery. I can't take him nowhere, yo. I try. Yes, we are discovering. So let's be mystics for a minute. So we are interested. Yes, as our dream pulls us, we are interested in the pursuit and the production of the material thing, the business, the spouse, the car, the house, the whatever that is, that's us, the writing of the book, all of those things, very important. But know that is the outer story. It's the outer aspect of things. We're starting as mystics to be engaged in the inner and the beyond and the greater. So now the soul puts on these lenses from the mystical perspective, and now I can see 360 degrees all around. And now I become interested in the depth of life itself. I want what's not seen. The apprehension, as it says here, of spiritual truths. So along your life's journey, the satisfaction will come from, ready? From insight and revelation. Insight and revelation. You will begin to have insight and revelation because your soul will be always in an open Wi-Fi mode, okay? The soul stays open in the Wi-Fi mode, seeking an insight, seeking union with the one, seeking a greater answer to the reason, why am I here? Who have I come here to be in this moment? And as a mystic, we stop living as prisoners to the past. We stop living in terror of the future. And we live in the deep now.
Take us a little deeper on that. What's so important about not just the now, but the deep now?
Because, first of all, when we're thinking about now, many of us measure now in a chronological sort of way by the measurement of time. Again, the mystic is going beyond time. We're coming out of the temporal dimension. So even when you're present in the deep now, you escape time. You're not a prisoner to time in any direction. Now is an eternal thing, moving in all directions simultaneously. It is the only thing ever happening. It is the only thing that is real. That which is occurring in the deep now. And my awareness, my centeredness in the recognition that there is only one thing ever occurring, creating and recreating, creating and recreating, creating and recreating itself at such a tremendous speed, such an immeasurable speed, that this now that we're referring to as the deep now, you ready for this? Is ceaseless creation. It is ceaseless creation. From the single instance that all creation came forth from the utterance of let there be, if you will. Creation has not ceased to be. Every now moment is creation in continuation. It is creation in continuation. It is ceaseless creation, ceaseless creation. And so my job as a mystic, a soul on assignment, one who wants to have a front row seat, an up close encounter with the juiciness of life, is to be present, fully present and attentive to the only thing that's occurring. And that is now. That is now. Do you know what happens when you can really lock into the gift of the deep now?
What?
You lose a sense of functioning in fear. You okay?
I'm fine.
You good? Need some water?
I do.
Can someone bring Ravi some water? Okay. Take your time. Water's coming.
My throat is dry.
Okay. Yeah, if you need to cough, you go ahead and cough.
Okay.
All right. We're present in the moment.
All right.
To what is. So when we're present to the deep now, and when we're available in this mystical way, then we lose this way of operating from fear. I'm not motivated by fear. I'm not driven by fear. I live with an anticipation of the good. How do we know this? We remember God placed God's signature on the creation event in Genesis in this particular way by saying everything I made is good and very good. This idea that it is good. There you go, Ref.
Thank you.
And so creation, that is ceaseless creation, is the now. Ceaseless creation is always giving of its full nature, which is the infinite nature of the Spirit. And so that infinite nature that is always being birthed and rebirth, birth and rebirth, birth and rebirth in the moment is nothing for me to fear. Type in the chat room, there is nothing or no thing thing for me to fear. There is no thing for me to fear.
So now I can trust.
And why are we trusting? Because
there is no thing to fear.
Yeah. And in that we are awake to the reality that there is nothingness. Remember, all of creation, ready for this, stems ex nihilo. Ex nihilo, the Latin for, the Latin for out of nothingness. So everything that is comes from the no-thingness, and the no-thingness is held responsible for producing the nowness, the deep nowness. And so when I'm on my journey and I'm fully present to what is, I understand that everything that is here to help me to have an insight and a revelation, a greater insight and a greater revelation and understanding, and to assist me with the expansion of my own soul. Have you got it?
Got it.
This is what the passage says in Romans 8:28. This is what it's trying to help us to understand. And we know that all things work together. All things work together for good. Let's just stop there for a minute. So whatever is happening on your journey toward the manifestation of the desired outcome, whatever it is that is occurring on your journey, depending on where you are sitting in the seat of your consciousness, depending on where you are sitting in the seat of your consciousness will determine how aware you are that things are coordinating themselves for your good. They're literally wrapping themselves around you. They are there in service to you, even the seemingly unfavorable things. It's all there in service to the unfolding of your soul. You were sent here for the unfolding and the expansion of your soul, to become greater and greater, have a greater awareness of your capacity to let the Spirit shine through you.
I think you just described the mystical experience. You know, when you actually can sense or even see or hear and feel that all things are working for the good for you. I think that's a strong connection with this mystical expression of good and God that we speak of.
Yeah. And at best, we can describe it, but we can never put full language around it. That's why it's an insight. It's there for you. It's something for you to grasp. When it's happening, you'll know it. When it's revealed, you attain a new frequency and consciousness. You got something working in you that you didn't have before, and you move through life, and the lenses in the prostheses called your physical eyes shift even. You don't even view life the same. It literally don't view life the same anymore, because you're looking past a lot of the things that others are paying attention to. You're learning to activate those inner faculties that, as I've said before, has the capacity to see in the invisible, hear the inaudible, handle the intangible, reach for the impossible. That's what happens at the mystical level, and more. And more. So I want to become the one who is growing more and more conscious that all things are working together for my good. Everywhere I turn, this whole experience that I'm having is here for the unfolding of my soul. That makes the ride very different. Mm-hmm. It makes the ride very different. That makes the journey very different, which means that you can move through the journey not being in lack about anything, because I'm present in the now moment. And as long as I'm in the now moment, do you know that when you are aware of the now moment, fully in the nowness, the deep now, there's no sense of anything missing. When I'm in the past, I am turning my eyes away from ceaseless creation now. Mm-hmm. What's available now? When I'm in the future, or trying to project the future, I am anticipating what I could be experiencing, hallelujah, right now. Type in the chat room, my heaven is always now. My heaven is always now. You're not going anywhere to get it. You're standing here, you're sent here to reveal it. To reveal it. There's an old story about some people who are in a mosque, downtrodden and feeling hopeless, and came there to pray for upliftment. And they needed an uplift. And they were just hoping that something would happen. Maybe someone would bring them an inspirational word. They came looking and searching for this inspiration. Yeah. And then there were some folks on the way to the mosque. And they're on their way to the mosque. Oh gosh. God, I hope that we walk in that mosque, there's going to be a word, some hope, some inspiration, something that lifts our spirits. And so the two ultimately converged, and both were seeking the same thing. And neither got it at all, because they each canceled each other out. Neither group was willing to be what they were looking for, or look with the heaven, look from heaven.
Wow.
You see? Mm-hmm. So rather than going around, oh, feed me life, give to me life, no, I am coming from a consciousness that sees now the good. Mm-hmm. I can now see the good. I can now feel the good. I can now hold the good. I can now touch the good. It is all in and through and around me. And now I am the way, the truth, the life. I become that avenue of expression for what I am holding. This is the mystical teaching that most of the theologians miss regarding Jesus in that master prayer that he prayed. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Why is he concerning himself with anchoring heaven in the earth rather than shooting people from the earth to the heaven? Because he knew this mystical principle: you can only have heaven if you have heaven right now. There's no place to go to get it. There's just a place to connect from in the deep now. So what he was essentially saying was anchor and awareness of heaven. And what is heaven? Heaven literally means expansion, the realm of ever-expanding good, the realm of ever-expanding good, the realm of ever-expanding good. Does it sound familiar? Does it sound familiar? Ceaseless creation. Ceaseless creation. The realm of ever-expanding good. The Creator can only give us that which ceaselessly expands. This that ceaselessly expands is heaven. The realm of ever-expanding good, available right now. How can we get there? Dive deeper. So I'm having an encounter right now. I'm aware in this deep now, I am sitting here having an encounter with someone I have known for 30 or years. I am enjoying in this moment the reality that we are here tag teaming, teaching, inspiring lives in a sacred friendship that I believe pre-existed time. Yes. And I believe in a mystical way we've exchanged roles in each other's lives over the years. This time you came to be my grandfather. I told you about that beer. But say, for instance, in this moment, I witnessed my friend have a burst of laughter. And then I allow that laughter in the moment to resonate and echo and repeat. And I allow my inner self to dive into the appreciation of what just occurred. There is joy flowing through my beloved brother, friend, who I have known for countless ages, I'm certain. I am grateful, deeply grateful, and aware that joy flows through you. And I receive that as a part of my life's experience and journey. This is the appropriation, or as we talked about, the apprehension of the deeper truths, the revelation that a friendship is not merely the having of someone to keep company with. It is the having of an experience of shared and compounded joy, compounded trust, compounded appreciation, whatever it is. It is the journey of souls for the purpose of the expanded good. Okay? Yes. I'm not interpreting this merely in this externalized calculus. The mystic is able to get the essence, the juice, the richness, the sweetness, the fullness, and have nothing in the physical for which it needs to rely upon in order for that to occur. And beloved, this is called freedom. I always have access to all that my soul requires, and I am free right now. I am mighty to attract all that my soul desires, and I am free right now. I am mighty to share and distribute all that my soul is meant to share and distribute. And I am free right now.
My mother would include the word "and unlimited."
And unlimited. Free and unlimited. Can you see this? So now from this place, now from this expanded consciousness, look at the things that you dream of, that you hope for, that you desire to be so, and see and know you are fully equipped to not only obtain it, but to maintain it. And the process, for a minute, we're going to talk about the process for that serves not only for the attainment of it, but as we said, the revealing of its greater purpose in your life.
Yeah. What's coming to me is that great story, the scripture of Peter on the water.
Yeah.
You recall that. And it's just a wonderful story of Jesus up to his old shenanigans in the now, right there on the waters, walking. And the disciples are in a nearby ship, a nearby boat. And then it's Peter. It's Peter who recognizes Jesus. I want to stop right there because there's a lot of symbolism and metaphysical richness there. Because Peter represents faith, which some might say is similar to the trust. And we see in Peter's actions a trust in the process that Jesus, who represents the Christ, or the Christ that is us, is putting down in the moment. He's walking on the water, and it's Peter who says, "Jesus, is that you?" And of course, Jesus says, "It is I." And then Peter says, "Well, if that's you, then call me forth now, and I'll come." And of course, Jesus says, come forth, come now. And there goes Peter walking on the water. Most people would say only Jesus could do that, but we see it's right there in the scripture. Peter walks the water too. He's able to transcend the surface. He's able to take the deeper dive. He's able to be in the deep now, in that moment. And then he has a different moment where he misses that mark, where he misses the deep now. I don't know what happened. Maybe he went somewhere in the past and thought of the time that he couldn't do it. Maybe he went into the future and wasn't concentrating on what was the juice that was right there, the nectar of the now. But whatever happened to him, he began to sink. And it was Jesus that picked him up and said, "Oh, where is your faith? Where is your trust?" perhaps he was saying to him, where's that trust in the process? You had it. You're right there in the now. Stay with me in the now.
Yeah. And I love that you bring this up, because him asking him, where did your attention go?
Mm-hmm.
You see, when we start to, the vacillation of our attention between the past and the future creates double-mindedness or doubt. Double-mindedness and doubt creates the perfect conditions for instability. And inside of the instability, there is no foundation for you to thrive. And so Peter created an instability for himself by maybe diverting his attention in one direction or another through the experience of doubt or double-mindedness. This is why staying present to your experience, embracing the experience fully, and trusting the process. Trusting the process. Now, have you ever, and we're going to come in, have you ever taken a shortcut with a recipe that was ironclad? You got a recipe. Every time you get that recipe, anytime somebody makes that recipe, the outcome is boom, it's the same. And then you come along and decide, I don't need to do these things in this sequential fashion. I got a workaround. And what happens? Your results vary. You know, I say results may vary. Okay, we got some varying results. Why? Because there is a reason that it said preheat the oven first. There was a reason that it needed to be preheated first. There was a reason that you needed to break the eggs open and beat them first, or remove the egg whites, or whatever. There is a reason. And we're constantly being shown processes for how we can become more and experience more. But when you take shortcuts because you don't trust, you get cut short. Type that in the chat room in the first person. When I take shortcuts, I get cut short. When I take shortcuts, I get cut short. I believe it was my grandmother who used to say this all the time. A stitch in time saves 9. A stitch in time saves 9. So I watched my son Caden the other day. He had a chore to do. And the chore was, let's see what this particular chore was. Let me see what he was doing. Okay, Caden was to take the recycling out to the curbside. And I said to him, slow down, son, make sure that you put your coat on and some shoes on, because it might be cold out there. Oh no, Pop, I got it. Pop, I got it. I said, son, a stitch in time saves 9. Trust the process. Put your coat on, put your shoes on. It's going to be cold out there. I got it. He gets halfway out there. That was that super windy, cold day when it was just, and the trash was literally blowing over. So he gets halfway there, freezes off, has to come back in the house, put his shoes on, put his coat on, etc. Because he had to learn after 9 stitches had burst, rather than the realization that I've got one that I can tighten up right now. And so the mystic knows that the fulfillment of anything worth the full benefit of anything worth having is being willing to become the one who can obtain the consciousness that can keep it. I want to become the person that takes that can have it. I don't just want to get it, because you can get it and not keep it, because you didn't become anybody. You didn't grow. That's like cheating off somebody else's paper in elementary school. Rev, remember you used to do that?
No, that wasn't me.
You weren't cheating off? You don't tell the truth.
No,
now.
no.
Listen, you're in church now.
I know.
All right.
I know where I am.
This thing of taking shortcuts. No, I become the person. I put myself through the process. All right, last fun story. This is it.
All right.
This is it. Last story. Then we're going to kind of wrap this up. Anita Ross was preparing for her first half marathon. This was back when we lived in Miami. Okay? And on a regular basis, she would train for the marathon, and we would go by Miami Beach area where she would be running and, preparing. I'd ride alongside her on a bike, supporting her in the training. And this training went on for like a month. We were really getting her in the right condition so that she can do the half marathon, I think 13 miles or so.
Yeah.
And the night before the marathon, I say to Anita, honey, I got a surprise for you. And she says, what? I said, yeah, I'm going to do the marathon with you, half marathon with you. I'm in there with you too. I'm going to do it. And she was so offended. She just, what do you mean you're going to, the nerve of you, you think you just can just jump off the bike and you got it like that? No, I had to prepare myself. I went through a process to be able to run these 13 miles tomorrow. You're not going, and that's it. The arrogance, right? My arrogance. But I was really thinking I thought it was a romantic thing to say. I didn't really know what I didn't know. I didn't realize, that doing that would have been in violation of a process. That she qualified, and that's really what the process comes for. Qualifies me for what I'm after. And then that qualifying gives me the confidence to stand in a place of not guessing, knowing. Last point for tonight. The mystic takes the journey without knowing the way, but commits more and more to the knowing of the one who knows the way. So part of this process is me becoming so clear that the things that I don't know, I will come to know because I continue to represent myself to the one that knows it all, the source of all intelligence. Omniscience. I want to know what the knower knows. In order to know what the knower knows, I must have relationship with the knower. sacred courtship. And that comes with what I like to call hang time with the presence. Periods of undistracted silence. And when you can establish this undistracted silence within yourself, you're realizing, as I've said before, mystically speaking, it's not the absence of sound or the presence of quiet. That's not what the silence is. It is slipping into the realm of the eternal now, where you are in the timeless dimension, the spaceless dimension, the field of omniscience itself. So silence is the place between quiet and sound. Field of the eternal, the very heartbeat of the spirit. The mystic knows to get there often. And then from that place, you bring into life from this place that's the land flowing with milk and honey. Get it? From this, and this is why Jesus kept talking to them about this kingdom not made with hands. It's a kingdom not made with hands, y'all. You're looking for it. You're looking for to crown somebody. I'm telling you, this kingdom is at hand. It is at hand. At hand. It's at hand. You got it already. And so this journey of trusting the process is trusting that you're lacking in nothing. But there's nothing to fear about the journey that you are upon. Not to be a prisoner of your past, not to be terrorized by the future, but to be deeply invested in the deep now. Because spirit is ever giving of itself. Someone said God is ever ising, never wasing. And if you want to apprehend what God is giving, you must be in the now to receive. And in the now, God can only give of God's nature, which is absolute good. So whatever it is that you're going to receive on this journey will be, as I've said before, for your highest good and your greatest joy. The first commandment of having an all-in spirit is to trust the process. Everything, and I mean everything, is working in your favor. Type it in the chat room. Everything is working in my favor. Everything. Has come to bless me. Everything will leave me a greater soul. Yes, I'm accepting that. Who's picking up what we're putting down there? Check in the chat room just real quick. Let's see who's picking up what we're putting down. Fahisa is picking up what we're putting down. Tiffany is picking up what we're putting down.
Linda is picking up what we put down.
Linda is picking up what we're putting down. Tyrone is picking up what we are putting down.
Elizabeth is picking up what we're putting down.
Agnes is picking up what we're putting down.
Dana is picking up what we're putting down.
All right. Anna Ray is picking up what we are putting down.
Deborah is picking up what we're putting down.
All right. All right. Come on, say, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Mm-hmm. Dorothy's picking it up too.
All right. Dorothy's picking up what we're putting down. And we want you to. Let's dive deeper. Dive deeper. And trust this. Trust this. Oh, beloveds, trust this. Trust this. Well, Rev Kev, I've been getting this question lately, and I'm going to make this kind of the last point. Rev Kev, but what about people who are transitioning in my life? Somebody leaves my life that's been with me for the journey. A lot of people are experiencing that. And it brings up a lot of resistance in people and a lot of fear in people and a lot of pain for people. And I understand this. The master teacher understood this as well. But if we allow it to, it can also contribute to the expansion of our souls. Why? Because there's only one universal soul. There's only one universal mind. There's only one life. There can't be two lives. No, there's this thing called life. And there's life on this side of eternity and life on the unseen side of eternity. And in this moment, I'm experiencing the one life through individualized expressions of this one life, called Eric, called Kevin, called Chris, and individualized expressions of this one life. But there's only one life.
One life.
Like there's only one electricity powering many, many things in this one room. But there's only one electricity circuiting through various available channels that need the powering of that one electricity, that one life. There's only one life having individualized expression. And so when one who has experienced life in this realm, in the physical dimension, crosses over into the non-physical reality, nothing has been diminished with life. Now, what is powerful about this, if I allow it to be so, it can trigger and activate an insight and a revelation for me how to be a temporal being in a temporal reality and have a relationship in the eternal. Are you following me? So that my loved one who's crossed over, I don't have to lose anything. I can celebrate for their journey. I can celebrate for they have moved beyond the temporal realm, and in the temporal realm, things break down. In the temporal realm, things fall apart. In the temporal realm, you get what I'm saying? We lose things. But in the non-temporal, in the timeless, in the eternal dimension, absolute freedom from that. Soul still journeying, and now I have, ready, the best of both worlds. Because I'm a bi-dimensional spiritual citizen, I've got 1 foot in eternity and 1 foot in time at all times. And with each passing of a loved one, I can heighten the intensity to which I can remain in relationship with those beloveds that move from me. In other words, I'm becoming greater and greater and greater soul with each transition, because I refuse to lose communication. I refuse to lose relationship. I refuse to experience it spiritually as a loss, because there is no loss, nor is there any waste in the spirit. And I'm not being cold-hearted, beloveds. I know what we experience in the physical. I know what we experience in the physical can be a thing, right? But it's not the only thing that the crossing over can bring about. Let us trust that process too. It is there for our highest good and greatest joy. Because there will come a time when we will lay these suits of clay down. And I don't want you to be afraid. Always gliding into more of the Spirit.
You took it to another level. Right?
Hey.
You took it to another level.
All right.
Now that's trusting the process.
Listen. With all that you are, what's real, beloveds, is what is unseen. For everything that is seen comes from the unseen.
Yes.
How can you say you love God who you cannot see?
When you don't love your brother.
When you don't love your brother
who you do see.
Who you do see. So this understanding that everything that has come forth to express comes from something deeply impressed in the invisible. And so that's why I'm deeply interested on this journey in knowing what's going on in here. Because ultimately I will bring it forth into expression. Good, bad, or indifferent. We're trusting the process. Yes?
Yes.
All right, we'll rest there.
All right.
All right. Thank you, beloveds, for hanging out with us. Tyrone said, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I mean, they are in the house tonight. We're loving having you with us tonight. Mm-hmm. Inviting you now to take a moment with us to contribute and support the work that's happening on this Unity of Sacramento campus. We are being resilient, we're being creative, we are refusing to be stopped by the raging pandemic. We recognize that was a catalyst for our creativity.
That's right.
And so we're not giving less, we're giving more. We're giving more, and we're asking you to support that through your tithe and love offerings. Chris is going to show us a video for how you can give. I always like to give through the cell phone, and I'm inviting you, giving through our Unity of Sacramento app. That's why I choose to give. I'm inviting you to do the 222 seed, 222, or multiples of 2 in your giving tonight, so that you can, as we've been talking about all year long so far, all year long. Hasn't been that long, but we've been talking about experiencing the impact of the double, having the double impact, the double blessing. Work with the multiplication of 2. We're in year 22, work with 222, 2222, the 22. The seed of 222 is the invitation for you tonight in making your gift or more, something greater. Watch this quick video to learn how to give to Unity of Sacramento while we sow our seeds.
Visit our site at www.unityofsacramento.com. Right there at the top of the front page, you will see a donation button. Click there to visit our safe and secure push pay portal. Another easy way to give is through our Unity of Sacramento app. Download the app on your smartphone or tablet, and on the front page, look toward the bottom of the page for your giving heart, which will also take you to our push pay portal. You can also write us. Send your letters to Unity of Sacramento, 9249 Folsom Boulevard, Sacramento, California, 95826. So many people are shopping online, and if that's what you like to do, then support us through Amazon Smile. Visit smile.amazon.com and designate Unity of Sacramento as your charity of choice. You will automatically be making a contribution to our beloved community. And of course, you can always make your donation by using Venmo or Cash App.
Thank you so much. Bring it back. Thank you so much for your contribution tonight, for your attention tonight, knowing that what you've given has been a blessing. We just give thanks, loving presence, for the gifts, the givers, the field of generosity that's unleashed by the receipt of the powerful word that's been spoken, the deep dive that we've taken. And we know that Unity of Sacramento continues to thrive and be a force for good in the world. Be to them who have supported this message and this work tonight the miracle that they are expecting. And then bring it into their lives, pressed down, shaken together, and running over in a way that they can uniquely identify and know that it is you that did the work. So it is. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And amen. All right, beloveds, thank you so much for being with us. We're going to keep going higher.
Yeah, this has been a blast.
Mother Fahiza says, so transcendent tonight. Yes, thank you. This is the work, going in the great up and beyond. Join us next week for more of Thursday Night Live Deeper Dive. Also be with us this Sunday. We're going to work with the second commandment for having an all-in spirit. It's going to be good, and we'll be right coming from this campus Sunday morning. Anything else, Brother Rev?
Yes, I want to give a shout out to Mel. We didn't mention Mel.
Hey, Mel. Thanks for being with us tonight, Mel. We love you, and we're so glad you're a part of it. And all of you from around the country and different places where you join us, God bless you. Have a great, great night, and trust the process. We'll see you Sunday. Peace.